You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team. When it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. National Visit Your Relatives Day. I don't know about that one. International Museum Day. I'm not a big museum guy. There's a couple of them that I like, but I'm not a real big museum guy. No dirty dishes today. Use paper. That's my idea. When I was single, that was a long time ago. So, or when my wife goes out of town, she always wonders how the kitchen is so clean when she gets back. Well, that's because either I go out to eat or I use paper and get rid of all evidence. You know, it's less work for me, too. I don't have to do the dishes. No dirty dishes day. National Cheese Souffle Day. I like that one. Although I prefer chocolate with a little Grand Marnier in there, whipped cream. Just throw that out there. That's just my preference. And National HIV Vaccine Awareness Day.
It is what it is.
I'm sure that, you know, if you've got that disease, then I guess it's a great thing. You know, I remember back in the 80s when everybody was scared to death of HIV. Now you don't even hear too much of it anymore. Of course, I guess Fauci took care of the people with that one too. Let's take a look and see what the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 82 points. The S&P 500 is up 16. The NASDAQ is up 134 points. Oil's down 97 cents a barrel. Just seeing what's going on right now in the market. So let's see where we're heading. What's going on in the markets? I saw that Microsoft stock was at an all-time high earlier this morning. That's good news. I see that there are some problems with Home Depot's pricing and sales and guidance. And it's kind of what we're going to be talking about today, why 3% mortgage are hurting America. And I know there's a lot of people that are excited about the 3% mortgage, but you know something? I'm going to share with you today why that's hurting America and exactly who is being hurt, because there's a lot of folks with these 3% mortgages, 4% mortgages. And why would I think that it's hurting America? Well, because I'm looking at statistics. And yes, I am a stat guy. I watch the stats all the time. And our household debt is growing. That's not a good sign. We're not looking for a household debt to grow. We want people to have a job, live within their means, but we're watching household debts growing. So why do I say that that's the problem? Why is that the root cause of all of these issues? Well, the problem is that people are thinking that that's the end of the story, that just because they've got that household or they've got that 3% mortgage, 4% mortgage, 5% mortgage. They're thinking that that's all that matters in the world. And I want you to know that that's not the main thing. That's not all that matters. The amount of equity you have and what does your household budget look like? Much, much more important than any of these other numbers. And I'm seeing so many people that are looking at their household debt and thinking, well, you know something, if that's the only thing that matters. And I'm going to share with you that mortgage rates are going to come down. We know that there's a lot of folks out there that have a mortgage that is under 4%. 23.6% of the population has a mortgage that is under 3%. Yet we are seeing credit card debt at an all-time high. How could that possibly be? How do those go together? Well, I'm going to explain that to you today. I'm going to show you some stats, and I'm going to show you how this can really be problematic. Nobody wants to talk about the problematic side of this, but I will. Because what you need to know is if you're spending 7% on your household debts and you've got a 3% mortgage, does it matter that you have a 3% mortgage? No, I'm going to say that it doesn't really matter. What matters is you got to look at the big picture. It's like saying I've got to pay my mortgage out of my bank account at Bank of America, and all my other debts come out of my bank account at Wells Fargo. Now, the issue is they're still your bank accounts. And if they're overdrawn, it doesn't matter which account they're coming out of because they're still yours. So I want you to understand these things because that's where the big issue is going to come from. And I'm going to show you that, yeah, while you might take some of your debts and convert what might be called good debt into bad debt, well, it may be beneficial to you to make that change, but nobody's telling you about that. If nobody tells you about that, how do you know what you're doing? Because you're saying, you know, and the number one question I get all the time about mortgages is, what's your interest rate? Well, it's between 4 and 7%. Well, that's a big swing, Ron. Nobody else says anything like that. Well, nobody else wants to tell you the truth because everybody can offer you a rate that's between 4 and 7%, and every one of those rates could be the very best rate for you. The fact of the matter is, if you don't know why that's the best rate for you or how to make that a good rate for you, then you're going to have a problem. If you know how that works, then you're going to be in good shape. And I'm going to explain to you this morning exactly, or this evening, depending upon when you're listening to this broadcast, how that works, why it is that you can raise your interest rate to a significantly higher number and have more money at the end of the day. Do you think that would make sense to you? We're going to talk about all these things when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. In fact, I hope I'm not throwing a curveball here at Josh, but he did tell me that I was supposed to be shut up. You got to love it. I just ramble on here. You can reach me anytime. We're going to talk about VA loans. We've got a couple of good segments on that today, navigating the maze of credit repair, why professional help can be a game changer, and a powerful job market fuels home buyer demand. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 every day at this time. OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 42% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. You know, it's always nice when I look at the sheets that Josh and the team put together for mortgage rates as of yesterday from OBMMI. Now, they don't tell us the amount of points paid or received in the APR, but when I look at the sheet and I see along the graphic and I look along the left side, and every one of the numbers is red. That's great because that tells me that all of the rates were down yesterday. Let's run through them. The 30-year conforming, 6.502. Jumbo, 6.50. FHA, 6.433. USDA for the rural areas and generally no down payment, 6.403. And the best loan on the market for those that earned it, it's the 30-year VA loan at 6.213. Every one of those is down, and we like it. That's just the way we like it, is having them all down. So let's take a look. The 10-year Treasuries up 6 basis points today. That's not so good. S&P 500 is up 17.5. Mortgage-backed securities are down 23 basis points, which means interest rates are going up today. Why is this happening? Well, it's all debt ceiling fears. That's what's going on. There's been some recent progress, which points to a potential deal being made over the next week, but there is a lot of uncertainty. The markets do not like uncertainty. As we've covered in the previous updates, there is a supply issue that is causing bonds to move lower and yields to move higher, besides banks that are being forced to sell their bond holdings to come up with deposits for their customers. If the debt ceiling is raised, the Treasury will have to issue bonds to come up with the money. This would create additional supply that has been absorbed that has to be absorbed by the market. And from the Federal Reserve, Lori Logan, Dallas Fed president, says the current data does not justify a pause. She's the camp of another rate hike. How disconnected is she? And we've talked about this before about the Federal Reserve.
Such an idiot. Such an idiot.
Yeah, it's amazing how they keep doing. Oh, sorry. They keep doing this stuff and just following along. We're going to hear from Fed Chair Jerome Powell tomorrow ahead of the Fed minutes next week. Existing home sales measures closings on existing homes show that sales were down 3.4% in April at a 4.28 million unit annualized pace, which was in line with estimates. On a year-over-year basis, sales are down 23%.
Ow!
Slower pace of sales is all due to inventory, which remains extremely low. Inventory levels increased slightly to 1.04 million, but still remains very low. There's a 2.9 month supply of homes, which is tight because 4.6 months is considered normal. But if you look at active listings, there are only 563,000, as many of the homes counted in existing inventory are under contract. Median sales price, $388,800, up 3.5% from the previous month, but down 1.7% on a year-over-year basis. Remember, median is just the mix of homes being sold, has nothing at all to do with appreciation. Homes remained on the market for an average of 22 days, down sharply from 29 days, showing that the lack of sales is due to inventory, not demand. 73% of homes sold in less than 30 days. Less than 30 days. Think about all of that. So just amazing what's going on here. So just a bottom line to give you that information on some of this. First-time home buyers, 29% of sales. If you're a first-time home buyer, we've got a workshop that we can actually send you a copy of. We did this live last week, I think it was, the week before. Cash buyers accounted for 28% of sales, which is up from 27%. That means that roughly 40% of homes with a mortgage are from first-time home buyers. Investors made up 17% of transactions, which was unchanged. Clearly, investors are seeing the opportunity in housing right now. Initial jobless claims measures individuals filing for unemployment benefits for the very first time fell 22,000 to 242,000. Don't take this as a drop in week-to-week unemployment, but rather there was fraud in Massachusetts last week that spiked the numbers. Averaging out the last 4 weeks, this figure stands at 245,000. Continuing claims are those that continue to receive benefits after the initial claim. Decreased 8,000 to 1.8 million units. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So let's continue a little bit of the conversation that I was sharing with you in the last segment. 3% mortgage, hurting America. So the bottom line here, and I did this analysis for a family just recently. We did an analysis looking at their home, and I'm pretty sure that we were looking at, they had I think it was like a $700,000 home with a $350,000 in mortgage at 3.5% or something along those lines. I'm not going to give you the exact numbers. It doesn't matter. It's the concept that's important. So, and I want to give you the background here also. I'm going to share with you some exact numbers. And I don't know if I sent this chart to Josh just a second ago. And do you have this available, Josh? I know I only gave you about 30 seconds notice. But let's take a look and see. I'm going to see if I can pull it up on my screen as well. So we're going to look at a number for mortgages. Let me see which one you have there. Current rate on an existing mortgage. So 23.6% of those with mortgages are under 3%, 3% or less. 38.5% are between 3.01 and 4. That's 62% of the mortgages are under 4%. And these are folks that are all coming out there and saying, you know something, I don't want to get rid of that mortgage because I'm not going to ever get it again. But it's a fooling yourself situation. And I don't play with fooling yourself situations. We deal with reality on Ron Siegel Radio. The other part of the reality is we know that the vast majority of people have a tremendous amount of equity in their homes. So what did we do? We looked at a chart of equity. We want to see how much equity that you have. And we're going to tell you right now that you've got, let's see, 38.7% of America owns their home with no mortgage. So you're not going to be counted in those numbers I gave you before. We're going to look at mortgages with less than 50% equity is 32.4. And we're looking at people that have over greater than 50% equity is 28.9. So there's a huge amount of equity in America. Last time I looked, the average loan to value was 48. So that means there's 52% equity on average. So if you've got all that equity, why are you carrying a car payment? Why are you carrying a student loan payment? Why might you be carrying credit card debt, in-store debt, any other debt at all? That's the question mark. So let's go back to this scenario that I talked about a little bit ago. We had a $700,000 property that I think it had a $352,000 mortgage, and I think it was 3.5%. Doesn't matter, again, exactly where it was. But then we looked at it and said they've got about $100,000 in student loans, cars, credit cards, in-store, all the different kinds of debt, unsecured debts. They had about $100,000. So what if you take that $100,000 and the interest rates on that? Now, student loans are probably right around 7% when they start collecting them again. Credit cards, we know, are over 20%. So we just put in 25 because most of the numbers I hear about, if somebody has a lot of student loan or credit card debt, they're not getting the best rates. They're in the 25 to 30% range. So let's look at 25%. And then you look at your cars, maybe you're looking at 3, 4, 5, 8%, depending upon your credit. What happens, and the cars are done over 4, 5, 6 years. Credit cards are done over 300 years if you're making the minimum payment. And student loan debt can be forever. But let's look at this, the game plan here. When we put this particular scenario together, they were looking at like a 6.8% blended household interest rate. That's all that matters is the blended household interest rate. What does that mean? It takes your mortgage, it takes your credit cards, your cars, your student loans, in-store debt, any unsecured debt, puts them all into one lump sum, kind of like where it's getting paid from your checking account. Puts them all into one lump sum and weighting them based on the amount of the debt. So being that your mortgage is probably the biggest one, it has the highest weighting, which only makes sense. So let's continue. They got to 6.8%. But what happened in this scenario is by taking all these debts and putting them together and putting them into, I think we did a 6.5% interest rate. I don't remember exactly, but I'm going to use 6.50 right now because that's what OBMMI said loans locked at yesterday. And again, I'm not doing APR. I'm not paying points paid, points received because it's just educational purposes only. So if we did a 6.5% interest rate, and again, I don't know if you qualify for that, what's going to end up happening is not your blended household interest rate went down by increasing your mortgage rate. But you say, Ron, I just took my 4, 5, 6 year car payment and put that into a 30-year note. Okay, so what? Well, but I just got this house in 2021 and I've already been making payments on it for, say, 2 years. I've got 28 years left on this, and I had, only 4, 5, 6 on the car, and credit cards I'd never get paid off, and the student loans I might never get. Doesn't matter. We're putting them all into one new 30-year loan. Now, when we put all of that into one new 30-year loan, in this scenario, we were saving, I believe the number was $1,103 a month on their total debts because you had to make your house payment, you had to make each of the car payments, you had to make all the credit card payments, student loan payments. When you added it all together, you're saving $1,100. Now, what do we do with that $1,100? Well, if you were able to keep on with your payments you had, well, just keep on with those payments. Don't make any changes. And send the $1,100 to the principal payment or an additional principal payment every month if you want to. You can send it over to, we talked to Todd Halterman yesterday, send it over to him and have him invest it and get more than probably the 6.5%. But the bottom line is if you make that extra $1,100 principal payment every month on your mortgage, you're going to cut your mortgage payment down by probably, 12, 13, 14 years. So the biggest debt you have would be paid off significantly sooner, and all your other debts might be a little slower. But here's the other part of it. How about taking half of it and paying down your principal, and take the other half and put it in a new car fund? So when you're ready to buy a new car 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, you have cash to pay for the car. You're not paying interest on any of these things. You have to be disciplined to do this. But 3% mortgages are hurting America. They might even be hurting your family. Think about it. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, powerful job market fuels home buyer demand, navigating the maze of credit repair, why professional help can be a game changer. Can VA closing costs be included in your home loan? And what is a VA funding fee? We've got a lot to cover. You can reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990, the real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Powerful job market fuels home buyer demand. The spring housing market has been surprisingly active this year. Even with affordability challenges and a limited number of homes for sale, buyer demand is strong and getting stronger. One way we know there are interested buyers right now is because showing traffic is up. Data from the latest showing time showing index, which is a measure of buyers actively touring homes, makes it clear more people are out looking at homes than there were prior to the pandemic. Think about that concept. And of course, we've got a graph to show it to you, showing traffic above pre-pandemic levels. We've got the graph showing all of the years going back to 2017. Although there's less traffic than the buyer frenzy of the past couple of years, we're not far off that pace. There are a lot of interested buyers checking out available homes right now. But why are buyers so active at a time when mortgage rates are higher than they were just last year? The job market is growing at a stronger than expected pace. With inflation still high, the Federal Reserve, the Fed, repeatedly hiking federal funds rates and a lot of chatter in the media about a recession, it might surprise you just how strong today's job market is. What might be even more surprising is the fact that it appears to be getting stronger. Job market continues to get strong. 253,000 new jobs in April were stronger than expected. March was 165,000. Each month, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reports how many new jobs were added to the jobs market. The graph shows 88,000 more jobs were created in April than in March. In fact, the April numbers beat expert projections. That's a solid indication the job market is growing. Unemployment is at a near all-time low. Ever since the Fed began fighting inflation, many people expected the low unemployment rate we've seen over the past couple of years to rise, but that hasn't happened. In fact, what has happened is the unemployment rate has dropped to 3.4%, a 50-year low. Unemployment rate, yeah, look at that. If you're looking at this graph on the chart on our ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed or any of our socials, 3.4%. Average since 2020 has been 5.7. Those are the Biden years, aren't they? Well, I shouldn't say that. With so many people steadily employed and financially stable right now, they're still able to seriously consider buying a home. What this means for you. If you're thinking about selling your house this year, a market with active buyers is music to your ears. That's because there will be increased interest in your home when you put it on the market, especially at a time when the number of homes for sale is so low. To get started, your best resource is an experienced real estate agent. They can help you price your house appropriately, navigate the offers you'll receive, negotiate effective, and minimize your stress and hassle. Bottom line, there are plenty of buyers out there right now trying to find a home that fits their needs. That's because the job market is strong. Many people have the stable income needed to seriously consider home ownership. To put your house on the market and get in on the action, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Again, just think about some of these issues that are coming to play. There's a lot going on here. So I should say that's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com. And I mentioned to you a little bit about this concept of, the amount of people going out to view houses. Well, just remember, they can only go see the houses that are available to be seen. If the house is not available to be seen, guess what? They can't go see it. Throw that out there because that's a big issue. Once you've seen all the houses that are there, there's nothing more you can do. So that can be an issue about bringing the showing time numbers as to where those are coming in at, because if people just can't find anything, that's just about all that we can look at. Hey, let's do a Borrow Smart segment right now. I think I've got time for that. Can closing costs be in your VA home loan? Borrow Smart, brought to you by, it's interesting. There it is. Okay, I think I know what I did wrong here. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get my notes for this segment to make sure that I give you the right information. Don't want to give you bum info. So can closing costs, okay, I guess I've got it here. Let's take a look at that. Borrow Smart, brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Ever wonder if you could roll closing costs into your VA home loan? Well, I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm here to demystify this for you. Let's explore this together. First point, the simple answer is yes and no. It largely depends on the type of cost we're talking about. The VA allows for some fees and costs to be included in the loan, but others must be paid up front at closing. There are some closing costs that the VA will not allow to be charged to a veteran. Very clear in the system, so you got to understand all of them. Point two, some of the costs that can be rolled into your loan include the VA funding fee, a mandatory fee that can be financed into the total loan amount. It's worth noting that this fee is waived for certain veterans, such as those with disabilities related to their service. We'll explore that later in a future discussion. Point three, unfortunately, other closing costs like escrow fees, recording fees, credit report fees are not typically included in the loan. These costs are often paid out of pocket at the time of closing. They might even be negotiated between the buyer and the seller through their agents to see if they can get some sort of a credit from the seller built into the purchase price. So we'll talk about all of those. Those are all options there that if you give us a call, remember, every solution is unique. It's crucial to work with an experienced professional. Our team has a lot of experience. I've told you many times, first family I helped do a loan was in 1983. Goes back a long time. My partner, Sean, she's been doing this for probably 20 years as well. Don't tell her I said that because she thinks she's only 29. But her daughter's, I think, about that age. I'm not going to go there. So the bottom line here is we've got a lot of experience. All you need to do is book rs15.com, book rs15.com to get an appointment with our team. You can also go to ronsiegelradio.com. You can see all of our videos that we've done on this. It's in the archives, or at ronsiegelradio.com. And make sure you get the app, rsrmoney.com. rsrmoney.com is a great tool for people, and I highly, highly recommend the tool. Why? Because it's going to tell you what it'll monitor your credit, it monitors your bank accounts, it monitors your asset accounts. Can't change them, but it'll monitor them for you. It's kind of done along the same lines as Rocket Money and eMoney and some of these other big ones. Same kind of really focused and encrypted technology. It'll also tell you what your property's worth if you have one now. Gives you 4 different sources for that. And it'll also tell you about 97% of the properties that are on the market. It'll give you information on those. That's why the Borrow Smart segment is brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. If you are thinking about buying a house, let's give some freebies out. We haven't done this in a few days. If you're thinking about buying a new house, rsrhbg.com, rsrhbg.com. That's our home buyer's guide. We update that every quarter. And if you're not getting those from us, you should be. Buyer's guide. I told you earlier about how the 3% mortgages hurting America. I actually did a full video on that. So if you go to rsr2step.com, rsr2step.com, you can actually see where I took a actual client's scenario, ran it through, because you want to do this as a 2-step process. And RSR 2-step will show you what the real specific second step is. But it might also be a second step that you're not even thinking about, because we know we're heading into a recession. I mean, that's pretty built in. Most everybody's coming up with the same scenario, heading into a recession. So if that is accurate, we're heading into a recession. Think about this concept. Think about this option. Is what if you wanted to buy a bigger house or downsize, right size? Well, if you get all that debt off of your personal balance sheet because you've used up some of your equity, now when you go to buy a new house, you'll probably have a better FICO score because you don't have those debts on your liabilities anymore. You'll have a better debt to income ratio because you're saving all that money that we talked about in the last segment. rsr2step.com, rsr2step.com. It will save you a lot of money over time, but again, you're the one that has to make that decision to make that phone call. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, navigating the maze of credit repair, why professional help can be a game changer, and what is the VA funding fee, and how does it work? All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solutions for you. Navigating the maze of credit repair, why professional help can be a game changer. Ever received a nasty surprise while checking your credit? Or had the shocking realization that someone else is racking up debt in your name? You're not alone. The journey to credit repair can be daunting, but there's no need to venture into it solo. So if you're embarking on a journey of credit repair, an inevitable rite of passage for many of us at some point in life, while the Fair Credit Reporting Act gives you the right to dispute inaccuracies on your credit reports, it's important to remember that having the right doesn't necessarily equate to having the skill or knowledge to efficiently navigate this complex process. This is where credit repair firms like creditsanitizer.com come into play. But be aware, not all credit repair firms are created equal. Some out there are more interested in your wallet than your welfare. However, a reputable, experienced, and highly rated firm like creditsanitizer.com can be a game changer. Our partner with Blue Water Credit is essential. Why, you might ask? Well, the terrain of credit repair is complicated and time-consuming. It demands a comprehensive understanding of credit reporting laws, credit scoring algorithms, and dispute resolution procedures. Trying to tackle this on your own can lead to costly errors that could further damage your credit score. According to a Federal Trade Commission study, 1 in 5 people have errors on their credit reports that can be corrected by credit repair services. Despite this, only 15% of respondents in a creditcards.com survey said they had successfully disputed a negative item on their credit report with the help of a credit report repair service. These statistics underline the value of professional help in the credit repair journey. Credit repair is a highly specialized field requiring a deep understanding of the credit reporting laws and scoring process. As industry experts, the team at creditsanitizer.com and our partners Blue Water Credit can help you identify errors on your credit report, dispute inaccuracies and with credit bureaus, and provide guidance on improving your credit score. Besides, the process of repairing your own credit can be daunting, draining. It involves heavy research, documentation, and communication with credit bureaus and creditors. Enlisting creditsanitizer.com to help handle these tasks saves you time and alleviates stress, allowing you to focus on other aspects of your financial health. Lastly, a professional credit repair company like creditsanitizer.com can expedite your credit repair journey, leaving the expertise and resources. They can help you achieve your goals and more quickly and efficiently than going it alone. If you're ready to maximize your credit score and secure the best possible outcome, or even if you just need some advice on where to start, don't hesitate to schedule a no-risk consultation with creditsanitizer.com. Visit ronsiegelradio.com. Visit rsrmoney.com to monitor your credit. Do it today to learn more about managing your financial health and to schedule a consultation with creditsanitizer.com. It's time to turn the tide on your credit score. That's Your Credit Matters, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com and our partnership with Blue Water Credit. They do a great job for the family. So I just want to make sure that you're having that conversation with them. I think we have time to do our VA segment. Borrow Smart, brought to you by rsrmoney.com. Borrow Smart, brought to you by rsrmoney.com. Today, we're diving into a topic close to the hearts of many veterans and their families. It's the VA funding fee. Unlocking the mystery of the VA funding fee. What is it? How does it work? Did you know that as a veteran, one of your greatest benefits doesn't have to come with an enormous upfront cost? That's right, we're talking about the VA loan program, but there's a little known element to it known as the VA funding fee. Let's get down to business and make sense of it all. Number one, what is the VA funding fee? The VA funding fee is a one-time payment that the law requires most veterans to pay when purchasing or refinancing a home through the VA loan program. The fee helps to lower the cost of the loan for U.S. taxpayers because the VA home loan program does not require monthly mortgage insurance. Number two, how do you calculate that funding fee? VA funding fee varies based on several factors, like the nature of your service, whether you've used the VA loan program before, and the size of your down payment. Usually it ranges from 1.4% to 3.6% of the total loan amount. And yes, you can use your VA benefit more than once. Now, point number 3, who's exempt from the funding fee? Good news for some. There are certain situations where you might be exempt from the VA funding fee. If you're a veteran receiving VA compensation for a service-connected disability, or you're a surviving spouse of a veteran who died in service or from a service-connected disability, you are likely exempt or partially exempt. That will all be shown on the certificate of eligibility, which our team is more than happy to help you obtain. So I'm just going to throw that out there for you. The VA funding fee, the certificate of eligibility, we're happy to help you get that. Bottom line, understanding the ins and outs of the VA funding fee can make the journey to homeownership smoother and more effective. You want to have a conversation about this? Book rs15.com, book rs15.com. Set up the time for a free consultation with our team. You can also go to ronsiegelradio.com, and there's a question box right on there. You can put any questions you have in there. And it really just goes questions at ronsiegelradio.com, questions at ronsiegelradio.com. So that is our Borrow Smart segment on VA home loans, brought to you by rsrmoney.com. Let's see what else we can give away today. I like giving away stuff. If you're out there, let's see. Get out of debt. How about this one? We haven't even talked about this in a while. rsrnodebt.com, rsrnodebt.com. That's another one of our scenarios that we did to show you exactly how you can get out of debt in a shorter period of time. rsrnodebt.com. There are strategies for all these things. There's game plans. The one game plan that we don't have, that we can't help you with, is picking up a phone. It's not hard, but there's so many people that just don't do it. And I know that there's people more and more folks getting into the world of distress and distressed homes. I get updates and I get these numbers all the time. And it's just one of those issues that I want you to be aware of, that there are solutions out there. The solutions come about from the people that want to pull their head out of the sand. And I hate to say it that way. I hate to be so callous, but that's the fact of the matter. Is there's people that are out there that put their head in the sand and don't make phone calls to explore. They think they know it all. And I'm just throwing out there that there's a lot of people that, maybe they just don't know as much as they think because they're not creative. And I'm looking that right now, there's 542 people that have defaults filed, 520 of them residential in Orange County. In Riverside County, there's 879 residential, 941 in all. Now, these are people that are in default right now. There are solutions. Even if you say, well, Ron, I just bought last year and I used an FHA loan and I don't have any equity. You do not have to have that default stay on your record. You can sell that property if you want to and not have to go through a short sale, not have to negotiate with the lender. But you have to be a little creative, and we understand that. Give us a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, and we can help you. Again, these are just issues that some people just don't know about. If you're days, or if you're just maybe a week or two away from foreclosure, we can help with that. Get it stopped or sell the property before that foreclosure goes through. Foreclosure is going to stay on your record for a long time. If you sell the property, it doesn't go, the foreclosure gets taken off because it didn't happen. So 2 weeks out from foreclosure, as long as you got at least a couple of weeks, we can't pull a rabbit out of the hat. There are ways, even hours before a foreclosure, to get that off your record. But that becomes a little more challenging. There are options for it. So the bottom line here is, because I've been doing this for so many years, I've talked to a lot of families over these years. I understand these things. I don't give legal advice because I'm not a lawyer, but I'll give you the questions to ask the lawyers. Just challenge the thought process. I'll say, you may want to do A, B, or C, and you call your attorney and say, can I do A, B, or C? Is that legal? And they'll say, yeah, it is. Where'd you hear about that? You just tell them you heard it from your friend Ron Siegel right here on Ron Siegel Radio. But the bottom line is you got to make a phone call. You'll be sleeping better very quickly if you make that phone call. And as always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your time with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or want to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. I'm sorry, we'll be back next week, I guess. We'll be back. Something like that. Remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Push me over the limit. I'd like to call him something. I think I'll just call